Crawley, a large town and borough in West Sussex. 28 miles south of London and 18 miles north of Brighton, a town sat firmly in between two busking meccas. Maybe, just maybe, Crawley has something to offer us street musicians. Now I won't lie, Crawley isn't much on the eye, but it has got history. Supposedly it's been in an inhabited area since the Stone Age and was the centre for ironworking in the Roman times. Dang Romans. There are also some notable music stars who have come from Crawley, including Akala, The Cure, and Miss Dynamite. Might have to add that to the busking repertoire. And with a lineup like that, there's got to be something going on in Crawley. So I decided to head there to see if there's more to the place than just block buildings and a shopping centre. Yes folks, here is how I got on busking in Crawley. Alright then. Welcome to Crawley, which as a word sounds like crawling, which makes me think of spiders. Since arriving here, which was about 5 minutes ago, I've seen a fight break out, but I've also spoken to the nicest, friendliest station guard at the train station I've ever met, who was stoked to see me. So, could go either way, I guess. I've only ever been to Crawley once before, and it was for a gig with my old band, and it was terrible. And I think we even vowed that we'd never come back. But I'm here because I believe in second chances. Plus, I've seen a fair few other buskers frequent this place, so there must be something good about it. By the way, it's also really cold today, if you can't see, but I've got my fingerless gloves on, so I'm dressed appropriately. Anyway, let's go through the rules, or lack thereof, for busking in Crawley. I've got a sore throat. Come on. The rules for busking in Crawley. You do not need a license to busk in Crawley. I know this because of a tweet. Yes, Twitter. If there's one place you can find reliable information, then it's Twitter. Although this tweet has come from the official account of Crawley Council. I trust it. There actually isn't anything on Crawley Council's website in regards to busking or street entertainment. And on West Sussex Council's website, it only mentions the stuff about Littlehampton, Bognor Regis and Chichester, which I covered in the video when I went to Chichester. As for other reliable evidence that busking is all good in Crawley, there are plenty of YouTube and TikTok videos online. Fellow buskers doing their thing in the town centre, including the YouTuber musician Tim Newman, who is one of the few other YouTube/musician crossovers that I'm aware of, a bracket that I kind of find myself in these days. Some of the buskers I know personally frequently visit Crawley, and I know that they are buskers who prefer just a one-spot wonder. They set up in one spot for 3 to 4 hours and that's them. And I've never heard them ever complain of anything happening in Crawley. So I would just say approach Crawley with all the usual respectful guidelines. Be mindful, be respectful, and all will be good. As I found when I was in Crawley myself. No problems whatsoever. So, let's get on with my day in Crawley. I need to get some like lemon and ginger tea or something on the go. Now then, I'm gonna try and go for a one-spot wonder here. It's not a very big place, so I think like that's the best tactic. One spot, couple hours. Let's see how it goes. We still talk, just for fun, isn't it? It's my fault that it fell apart. Oh, heal me. Spot number 1, and the only spot. Everything I wanted, but I just can't finish what I started. As I've already said, Crawley really isn't much on the eye. It's not an aesthetically pleasing looking place. But its layout does fare well for busking.
My prayers over you.
Its centre is just one big pedestrian-only shopping area. There's multiple places you could set up, and I decided to go for Queen Square, right in the middle of everything.
It's alright to pretend that we still talk.
Winter busks are very much upon us right now, and it was a brisk day when I was in Crawley.
And I didn't mean to lead you, you were everything I wanted.
I was recently asked how I cope with busking in the winter, in the colder weather. I don't know why I did that. So here is a quick guide. Number 1, wrap up warm. Without sounding like an overprotective parent, just get yourself a big coat and double up on your socks. Number 2, if you're playing guitar, then prepare for some numb fingers. You can mitigate this a little by keeping your hands warm pre-busk with a nice pair of gloves, or just keeping them in your pockets. I find that going in with cold fingers from the get-go is just a recipe for soreness. Number 3 is you acclimatise. If you've been busking through all the seasons, as the autumn comes into the winter, you get gradually used to the cold. It gets easier the more you do it. Just ask Wim Hof. And number 4, fingerless gloves. It could be just us buskers that account for most of the sales of these beauties every year. We're keeping the industry alive.
My prayers over you.
Things felt good in Crawley, but to my absolute horror, from the moment I struck the first chord of the 3rd song, I heard a haunting, familiar sound. A sound that I've not been able to get out of my ears since my day of busking in Lewis.
I'm 3 songs in. Can you hear that? I can't believe this. It's bagpipes. A bagpipe player has set up literally within 20 meters of me. I can't believe this is a bagpipes again. Oh, what am I meant to do? I've got a bagpipe problem. If you watched last week's video, you'll know that I've encountered bagpipes before. Shocking. I'm gonna carry on.
She's a good girl.
Bagpipes. I honestly couldn't believe it. I thought that this was a pretty rare instrument to be hearing in the streets, particularly in the south of England, but apparently not.
Crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and a boyfriend too.
Bagpipes, it seems, are a common sight in the towns of Sussex.
She's a long day.
But despite the bagpipe accompaniment, things were going really well.
Running through the yard.
People didn't seem to mind that the sounds were blending into each other.
You miss her, I'm a bad boy, for breaking her heart, and I'm free, free falling.
I don't know if this bagpipe player hadn't seen me set up, or if this was just his usual spot. Maybe he's one of those buskers that will only adamantly go in one spot. Like a kind of OCD type thing. Us musicians are weird like that. Creatures of habit.
West now, Ventura Boulevard, and all the vampires hide in the shadows, and all the good girls all with broken hearts.
But I was surprised that he decided to go there and decided to persist and carry on. There are so many other spots in Crawley that you could go to that would at least be a little further away for us not to bleed into each other so badly. As I listened in to the toots and the squeezes, I just sucked it up and decided I would just carry on. It clearly wasn't bothering him too much because he didn't seem in any rush to move. Nor did he seem dissatisfied that I was there. He just was very much absorbed into what he was doing. The bagpipe trance.
Leaving the sky, gonna free fall down into nothing.
And the people of Crawley also didn't seem to mind. So I decided not to mind either. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do. It was a really friendly reception. Plenty of singing along, dancing, waving, thumbs up, compliments coming my way, and of course, plenty of donations. It was rad.
The bagpipes are ongoing, and I've been trusted to look after this bike whilst a guy buys a lock for it, and there's still bagpipes blaring away. Crawley has been eventful so far, but it's going well, so no complaints.
Being trusted with a bike, it was cool. To me, it signified that the people of Crawley are clearly trusting, or at least this gentleman was.
Tell us where you're from, what you want to become, and we'll set you okay.
Now I'd set up and started playing around 10:30 AM. And by 11:30, 12, it was super busy. People out and about, clearly doing their Christmas shopping. I think there's something to be said about anticipating an area's busyness. It might not seem that busy to begin with, but that shouldn't put you off.
You know it's more than I accept, 'cause I don't care where I belong no more.
There's something about the festive period and busking that really go hand in hand. People seem very warm to street music at this time of year. Regardless of if you're playing Christmas songs or not, which I haven't been. But it's rad, and it's definitely something I'm making the most of. Shout out to all my fellow Christmas buskers.
No cigar, yet I don't wanna hear it. No, it's more than I accept.
Even though there are multiple spots in Crawley, I'd gotten into the swing of things in this spot. A one-spot wonder was calling my name. ARP, just play one spot today.
And I won't waste my time fitting in.
So I decided to stick it out for a few hours in Queen Square. Even though the bagpipes would sound between each song, neither myself or the bagpiper seemed to mind.
Where you came from, telling them that I don't wanna hear, no, I don't wanna hear, no, I don't wanna hear.
We're about an hour and a half in, and the bagpipe light's still going, but other than that, it's going really well. And as long as he's having a good time, I don't mind. It doesn't seem to be affecting anything else, like donations or general vibe. People seem to be digging it, so good.
Monday night and I'm waiting.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being in one spot for more than 2, 3, even 4 hours.
Who wears a 2-8, but I'm not quite sure what that means. And when she walks, all the wind blows and the angels sing.
The only exception I would say is if there is another busker or other buskers who clearly want to play in that spot. Then we have to make sure we're working as a team and sharing pitches.
You do me, if you were me, then you'd be screaming, someone shoot me. Yes, I fail miserably, trying to get the girl all the bad guys want.
But as long as none of the residents or businesses are bothered, if you're the only busker in town or the other buskers are quite happy staying in their spots, then I think it's totally cool to go for a one-spot wonder.
You've got a reaper and a 40. She'll never know that I'm the best that she'll never have. And when she walks, all the wind blows and the angels sing.
A one-spot wonder, by the way, is when you play in the same spot and make your desired goal of donations.
Metal turntables in a wrap, Loxon with a mustache, bass track, season pass, driving in a transit, doesn't move in me command.
After 2.5 to 3 hours, I decided to call it a day. I felt good about how it'd gone. I'd even had some bagpipe-free songs towards the end there.
All the bad guys want, she said cut all the bad guys want.
Although my bagpipe tooting friend hadn't moved, clearly just decided to take a break.
She broke my heart, I wanna be sedated. All I wanted was to see you naked.
Crawley, nice one.
I'm trying to be a tough guy, listening to rap metal, turntables in my eyes. I can't grow a mustache, I ain't got no season pass, so I got some open.
So I think I managed like 6 songs without bagpipes, but still, it went so well. People here are really friendly, as most places. I'm finding that everywhere I go is very friendly, so let's count this change.
Guys won, she said cut all the bad guys won.
Christmas dome.
Nice one, Crawley. Nice one. Just sat in this Memorial Gardens park here. It's actually a pretty nice park, to be fair. I don't mean to sound surprised about that. No offense to anyone from Crawley, but this, like, the aesthetic of Crawley is very 1970s block buildings. But this park's beautiful. Dang, that was so good. I must admit, when I got here this morning, it was quite quiet. And then when bagpipes started, whew, I thought I was done for, but that went so well. One spot wonder. It was, you know, just straight up. I played for 2.5 hours. I probably could have played for a bit longer, but I needed a wee. Got to be honest about these things. There was no card taps, and there was one note, which is always bonkers still to this day. Just getting a note is mad. But there were so many donations and such a good vibe, so many friendly faces, smiles. Just so good. Dang, who'd have thought it? I think that I've said this before, by the way, but I think that there's a secret to busking is to go to the smaller towns and not worry about the bigger cities. The bigger cities are great for exposure, and they're great for like getting like gigs or opportunities, but these small towns are where it's at if you want appreciation and donations. I could set up again, but I feel like I've done all I need to do here in Crawley. Somebody did buy me some chocolate, but I don't eat dairy, so it's milk chocolate. So I'll have to find somebody to give this to. Galaxy Smooth. But I appreciate the gesture more than anything. So sick. People are just too friendly, man. Busking shows you on a surface level how friendly people really are, and the kindness of strangers. If you go on the news or you scroll through social media, there'll be a list of reasons to dislike people and feel like humanity is failing itself, but go busking on the street and you just see how beautiful and friendly and kind everyone is. And I think the secret is live music combined with real life. That is the secret. And that's what's going to save humanity. And me and all of my fellow buskers are at the front of it all. That's a bold claim, but either way, I love this life and just appreciate having you for the ride. By the way, I made £89.24, so almost 100. And like I said, I mean, I could easily set up again now and do another hour. Good times, right? Back to me in the future. Another small town in Sussex and another successful day. Perhaps the true busking meccas are these small towns. London and Brighton just sound like they should be. I busk 3, 4, 5 days per week for multiple hours a day. And every single day, I have multiple stories to tell afterwards. Whether it's hearing bagpipes again for the second time in 1 week, being left to mind somebody's bike, or being given chocolate or coffee, or witnessing shoplifters being chased by security. There's always a good story to tell at the end. It's just another reason that I encourage you to get out there and play some street music. I highly recommend Crawley, mostly as a place to busk, maybe not for the scenery. At the end of my day there, a lad saw me vlogging. He came over and asked me if I was a YouTuber. It felt cool to say, well, yeah, I guess I am. I've got 500 plus subscribers now. It might not seem much, but it's further than I've ever been, and a lot further than I was this time last year. So I can only thank you. And here's onwards to 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. Thank you for watching this video. Give it a like if you did like it, and hit subscribe so we can really get that journey to 1,000 on the go. Hopefully I can give you some tips along the way. And if you are a true fan, turn the notifications on. I am August Radio Project, and I make videos that come out every Monday. Watch the video on the screen or check out the others on the channel. Peace, love, happiness.